finally shooting this vlog. Is this a vlog? What's today? Saturday, January 21st, 2023. It is 5:44 p.m. I just finished setting up this camera angle. It took me hours to figure out the best camera angle because I wanted to show off the gear. So what am I going to talk about today? I'm going to talk about my first NAVEL4EVE show. So I did a previous vlog on that where I reacted, I guess, to the video of the first show. And then I was also talking about the gear that I used. I wanted to try to recreate that setup because I still have all that gear. So that's what this vlog is about. Well, first of all, I'm in the basement finally. Okay. This is the music room. I have not been using this room as much as I should since the water apocalypse of 2018, where you got like a bunch of water flooding, water damage, and I had to empty the music room. Then after everything was fixed, I didn't have any motivation to come back down here. I don't want to talk about this. Okay, and then two other reasons, main reasons for not coming down here. It's too cold, although right now it's really warm. I think it's just cold during the summer when we have the AC on. But right now it's really warm. I am wearing that really hot hoodie that Dun gave me, so that's helping. And this light as well. It's warm. I just got this light. Oh yes. So the second reason why I don't come down here is it's too dark. So I got lights. I also wanted to start shooting videos stuff. So I got that light. Oh yes, and then the other reason why I didn't like coming down here was because whenever I would turn on the speakers and start, turning on my equipment, there would be a really loud buzz. And I had no idea what that was about. So recently I did some research, and it turns out it was a ground loop. And I picked up this. It's over here. I don't know. I can't reach it. I just got this actually a few days ago. After going down the DI box rabbit hole, because I thought I needed a DI box. Well, I wanted a DI box so that I could record my guitar dry as well as through the FX. And then that got me thinking about eliminating noise and ground loops. But anyways, after going down the rabbit hole of DI boxes, I came across this product. It's called Pio Mini Hum Eliminator. It's PHE 400. It's cost, I can't remember how much it cost, 40 to 50 bucks Canadian. Got it on Amazon. This this resolved the ground loop, the buzzing sound. I was very happy when it actually worked, because usually when I get stuck and try to troubleshoot, it doesn't work. So I was happy with that. So now I will probably come into the basement music room more often and make music. This is a long tangent. Should also mention, I also recently picked up in-ear monitors. I'm actually wearing it right now. You can't see because it's only on one side. So when I put it on this side, it looks funny because I don't think I'm putting it on correctly. Again, not again, but I went down the rabbit hole for in-ear monitors. I wanted it so that I could, monitor myself when I'm playing, and then don't have a need to turn on the speakers, so I can be more confident with my, mostly with my singing. So I went down that rabbit hole, and I picked up this pair. It's I think it's called the 7 hertz zero or something like that. It was like less than 30 Canadian dollars on Amazon. I picked it up, and when I got it, I didn't realize what they are those quote unquote earbuds that I really, I guess, hated, because I didn't know how to keep them in my ear, and I would avoid getting those earbuds. So that's what it is, right? It's like this. This is what it looks like. Okay, I really don't want to take it out right now because it's so hard to put in, because I don't know how to do it. And then, anyways, I had to like look up how to put in, is that the word, correctly? How to put in the in-ear monitors. It's just, I don't know. I also feel like my left ear canal, whatever, is smaller than the right ear. So that's in. But can you see? Can you see what it looks like? It looks kind of funny. It doesn't fit my ear shape. But it's in there. I'll just take it out for now, because it looks funny. Also, I recently got this white closet-made shelf. It's ugly. I would like to paint it black, but I need to look into that, or what kind of spray paint to use for this type of material. And also wait until it gets warmer so I can do it outside. Right now it's like winter. So I got this closet-made shelf at Home Depot, so that I can put it on my Jaspers rack, and also put on like smaller synths. Let's get to the good stuff. Yeah, get to the good stuff. Okay, so to recap, so the last vlog I did, or the previous vlog that I did, was me watching the video for the first show I did as NAVEL4EVE'S, and that was back in 2002, so 20 years ago. Because I still had all the same gear, I wanted to see if I could recreate that setup. Also, to recap, I had 2 weeks to learn how to use my gear and figure out how to play electronic music live. And the reason was because, well, I said that I procrastinated, and I guess I did, but then I found a journal entry where I was talking about how I was actually jamming, and I guess I was loud, and then the neighbor, she came over and complained about how loud I was, and that was like at 2 in the afternoon. So she came over to complain. I explained to her the reason why I was playing my music loud was because I was practicing for an upcoming show. And I also remember her saying how the bass was too loud, and it shook her pictures off the wall. I'm laughing now because I can. So because the neighbor, she complained about how loud I was, it I guess it put me off from practicing. So then I procrastinated. But I did only had 2, maybe it was more like 3 weeks, but overall maybe 2 weeks because of that run-in or the complaint from the neighbor. So in those 2 weeks, I had to learn how to use my gears. The reason why, okay, so maybe I should explain. I just released my first EP called Go 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 it was on October 30th, 2020. Then I got my first show booked for December 15th. And then, what was it, late November or whenever, that's when I started to, well, I thought I should start working on my set. That EP was made using the computer. What did I use? I used like Mod Tracker and Buzz Tracker to make that EP. So none of this. I didn't use any of this to make it. Maybe this, which is the Roland EF-303. I think I probably used this for vocals. I don't know if I did. I might not have. I have no idea. So I think it's safe to say I didn't use any of this. Maybe this. I don't really know. The reason why I'm hesitant is because this unit is very loud. You'll see when I turn it on, it's very noisy. And I can't see myself using that in a recording. So I'm not sure if I use that. Okay, so anyways, playing live, because I had no idea how to play live. But I knew that I need to use like gear. Back in those days, computers, the technology was limited. I didn't have a laptop, which a lot of people used to use. They still do for when they're playing live, right? But I didn't have that. I had a desktop PC computer, but I wasn't going to bring that to the show. Okay, so anyways, I wanted to figure out how to use my synths to play live electronic music. I had the Roland MC-505, which I got in, I don't know when. It was just a few years prior to 2002. I got it after going to there was a Elastica show. So whenever that took place in Toronto, Elastica show in Toronto at the warehouse, where Peaches and Gonzalez opened up for them. And Peaches, she had an MC-505, and I thought that looked like something useful for playing live, because Peaches. So if you're not familiar with Peaches, she's a Toronto artist who did like electro. I guess she was like Electro Clash, maybe. I don't know. Who did that kind of music? So it was rapping. I think is that what she did? I don't know. She did vocals. Okay, so vocals, and then she had this at the beginning of each song, and at the end of each song, she would go and press buttons on the MC-505, and it's like, oh wow, that's neat. I don't even know how I found out the name of the device she was using, but then I went to Long and McQuaid and picked up an MC-505. Yeah, the Peaches and Gonzalez show. Feist was also in, Feist, right? She did that 1, 2, 3, 4 song that was used in those early Apple commercials. What was it? Apple iPod? Yeah, she was part of that show too. She was the backup dancer. At that time, I didn't know her name, but I was amazed. Amazed, is that it? By her dancing. So anyways, I had this for, I don't know, 1, 2 years? I can't remember. Just lying around. I had no idea how to use it. And then this keyboard, the Korg X3. I had this since 1997. I used this at the first electronic show I ever did, which was back in 1998. So I had these two. And also this Roland EF-303. I don't even remember when I got this. It was after I got the MC-505. And I don't even know why I got this, but I remember it was on eBay. So back then, whatever year that was, yeah, we still had the internet. We had eBay. I don't know, maybe I was just like browsing and then I saw this and it's like, okay, whatever, I'll get that. So I got that from eBay. And this mic too. It's the Shure SM58. I got this from eBay. But I don't think I got it until later because looking at the video footage and all the photos for the show, I wasn't using this mic. I was using the black karaoke mic, which I thought I still had, but I can't find it. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure I still have it because I keep everything. So there was that. And I probably upgraded to the Shure mic shortly after because I wanted a mic that didn't cause a lot of feedback. Yeah, I'm talking a lot here. Okay, so anyways, the gear. So the gear was Roland MC-505 for the beats, and there's a like the lead synth, Roland EF-303. Oh yeah, this is actually, it's an FX box. For I don't even know. I mean, like I said, I don't even know why I decided to get this other than I just saw it on eBay and it's like, okay, whatever, just get it. I did read up on it recently, and it's like an effects unit for DJs, whatever that means. But I used it as a vocal processor, which was not the best idea, and I'll explain that in a bit. So there's that, and then the Korg X3 to control the arpeggiator on the MC-505, and also to play some pads, to layer in some pads every now and then. Also, I had a Mackie mixer, which I still have. Oops, it's back there, back here. Mackie mixer. Let me see what it's called, or which model. Mackie 1402 BLZ Pro. It's kind of overkill for it was just like the 3 inputs. But that was all I had. Had that. And I got that. Plus, you can see these speakers. They're Mackie speakers, the HR824. Got those. Because around that time, I guess prior to that time, I was working in the post audio. Yeah, post audio for film and TV. That was my job. And we used these exact models. So I picked those up at Long and McQuaid. And this is all in Toronto, when I was in Toronto. Anyways, at that time, I was working, like I said, working in the film industry, part of the Directors Guild of Canada, right? So with making good money. It's making good money. Okay. So for anyone who thought, 20 years ago, was I some kind of teenager? And I was able to, or I had all this equipment? No, I was in my mid-20s, had a good paying job, and that's how I was able to buy all this gear. So that was the gear that I used for the show, that I used for the show. And I had 2 weeks to figure out how I was going to use this gear to perform my songs. So back then, so there was internet. We had I'll call them chat forums. I don't know if that's the word, but like IRC, Internet Relay Chat. That was something that I was on a lot, but not for discussing how to play electronic music or anything like that. I was like a secret musician. I didn't like to tell anyone. Well, not really. Yeah, I kept it a secret. Need to know basis kind of thing. If I thought you were cool, I might mention that I made music. So what I'm getting at is here, I didn't have anyone to discuss music making with, really. So I had to figure out on my own. So there was the internet, but we didn't have Google. There wasn't much information online, and I didn't even think to even go online to figure out how to use this stuff. So what did I do? I RTFM'd. I read the fucking manual for this. Well, it's mostly for this. But even then, okay. Let me just backtrack here. So that for show was at the Liquids Lounge. The person who booked me was a friend from college. So prior to changing my music project to NAVEL4EVE, I did make electronic music. I did make a couple of demos. And I gave one of those demos to Rain. Okay, so Rain was the person who booked me for that show. And Rain, I really liked the music. And then they mentioned that they wanted to use Reindeer. Okay, Reindeer was on that demo, but a very different version. So they wanted to use that in some kind of performance art show. I don't know. I was like, okay, that's kind of an odd choice, but whatever. Yeah, so that's so I wanted to play Reindeer for the show for that reason. That song is in 3/4 time, but I can figure out how to program the MC-505 to play a beat in 3/4 time. Okay, so what happened, and I talked about this in the previous vlog, what happened was I just played that song in 4/4 time. And, I played, I guess, the last chord progression. I played that part and just started singing the lyrics. And it's like, oh, this actually sounds good. And what happened was I didn't know at the time, I ended up writing Go Home from that. Okay, so Go Home is basically the 4/4 version of Reindeer. Yeah, so at that time, I still refer to the 4/4 version as Reindeer. It wasn't until, I don't know when, but much later, where I decided to change the name to Go Home. I decided it was its own song. Also, just watching the video of that first show, it was awkward in between the songs, where it took me forever to set up for the next song. Yeah, that was really awkward. Awkward I'm pretty sure it's for the audience too, because I remember one of my friends, I asked her, oh, how did you like the show? And she was like the only honest one, where she's like, oh, it's good. It's just, in between the songs, it just took a while, right? It's like, oh, I didn't realize that until I watched the video. And it's like, yes, she was right. And then, of course, I figured out how to program the beats and the patches for the next couple of shows so that it wouldn't be so awkward. Yeah, there's even one of the pictures. I'll put it up somewhere where I am bent over. It looks like I'm looking at the MC-505 and changing the parameters. But if you look at my eye line, it's actually looking above the MC-505 to a piece of paper, a printout that I made that told me these are the settings for the next song. I still have those printouts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that. I'm going to follow the instructions to set up these songs. I actually don't have that particular one because I think one of the quote unquote fans, they took it home as a show souvenir. But I still had the Word doc, so I just printed that up, and that's what I'm going to be doing next.